Hey you guys, it's Heidi again and welcome back to this week's second baby name list. Yes, I said second. If you guys missed it, on Friday I actually uploaded a baby name video then as well. It's full of unique baby names that end with the letter A, so I will definitely link that video down below. Also, make sure you guys are following me on Instagram at Baby Name Sunday. I'll have it linked right here. I post a ton of content on there that might not be on here, so definitely go check it out and make sure you guys are subscribed if you are new. Hit that bell notification down below so you guys don't miss any of my baby name videos. I always post at least once on Sundays and then sometimes throughout the week. But before I get into the actual list today, it is Davian's birthday today, and yes, whoop, whoop, happy birthday. So today's video is all about floral baby names. Yes, I've been teasing you guys all week about this list, and boy, you guys are in for a treat. These ones are unique for both boys and for girls, and I am just so excited. So let's get into the names. To start off the list today, we are doing a unisex name, and this one can be pronounced two different ways, and that is the name Thales or Thales, spelled Thales. I've seen it pronounced both ways, and man, I am loving this. It is giving off those Greek god and goddess vibes, and you know what? It makes sense because it is a Greek originated name meaning to blossom. So perfect for this list. And this is also a name of a famous Greek philosopher and astronomer way back in the day. And little fun fact, he literally thought that the earth floated on water. That was his theory. Really interesting, some really crazy Greek history with this name. I think it sounds really powerful for a little boy, little girl. Has almost that whimsical feel to it as well. So you have both floral inspired, to blossom, and celestial, space, astronomer inspired. Moving on to a girl's name. This one is gorgeous and it starts with the letter O. And you guys know how hard it is to find real amazing names that begin with O, but this is the name Odora, spelled O-D-O-R-A, and the floral name is Daphne odora, so it's part of the Daphne family, and it's more so known as a winter Daphne, but they are native to China, Korea, and Japan, and they're highly fragrant pale pink flowers on an evergreen shrub. Really beautiful, and Daphne in itself is a very classic floral name. It's very timeless, very elegant as well, and I feel like odora is never really looked at, so I feel like this is a definite unique floral name for you guys, and the actual flower itself represents and symbolizes immortality. So altogether, gorgeous name and a really gorgeous option as opposed to using Daphne. Odora would be absolutely perfect for you. So the next name on the list is a unisex name, and this one's actually the floral emblem. If you guys are from Canada, if you guys know where Toronto is in Ontario, the Ontario flower emblem is this flower, and that is the name Trillium. So spelled T-R-I-L-L-I-U-M. Definitely a longer flower name, but this one is so unique and definitely uncommonly used. I absolutely love it for both boy or for a girl. This is actually Davian's favorite name on the list just because for a boy, he finds it super cool. You can nickname him Trill, and same for a girl. So it adds this edginess to the name as well for being a floral name, if that makes any sense. But a trillium is actually a 3-petaled plant. It's mainly majority of the time white, but sometimes it comes in like a deep red, and it symbolizes consciousness and elegance. So you have this edgy nickname that you can totally use. It's a longer floral name that's definitely unique, and it has a beautiful symbolism of elegance. So I feel like this is just a well-rounded floral name. That's exactly why I want to share it with you guys. And then on to another more so unisex name, but this one can totally more so work for a girl. I feel like this would be an edgy girl's name, and that is the name Phlox, so spelled P-H-L-O-X. Gosh, this is my absolute favorite name on this list, just with that X. You guys know XYZ names, anything with those in them, I am all for it. But phlox flowers kind of come in 3 different colors. There's pink, white, and blue. And the symbolism is so sweet. It is good partnership, harmony, and represents sweet dreams. This is just amazing, and the edginess of this name is unreal to me. And also, phlox flowers are native to North America here. Also, they are super colorful and very highly fragrant. So this one is definitely my favorite on the list. I think it is more shorter, definitely cool with the X ending, and the symbolism behind it just overall makes me swoon. So now on to a boy's name for this floral inspired list, and that is the name Jacek, so spelled J-A-C-E-K. This one's actually a modern Polish form of the name Jacente, and it actually means hyacinth. I am horrible at saying that word. Hyacinth flower. It took me forever to figure out how to pronounce this name, hyacinth. It's so hard for me to say for some reason, but it's a flower native to the Mediterranean, and the actual name hyacinth actually came from a Greek boy named Hyakinthos, symbolizing sport and play in the language of flowers. So this one has a really cool Greek inspiration behind this name. Hyacinth is sometimes used for a floral girl's name, and it literally is derived from a boy's name in Greek way back in the day. Really interesting, and I love Jacek. I feel like it's almost like a Jace, but like a modern version with a K on the end, Jacek. I am really liking this, and hyacinth flowers represent constancy, and the blue ones represent sincerity. So it does have some really great symbolisms. It's a really cool boy's name, and I feel like this one could totally be another alternative option to Jace, and you can totally still nickname him Jace, but with a little bit of a different spin. Another boy's name I have on this list is the name Vartan, so spelled V-A-R-T-A-N. This one is actually Armenian, meaning giver of roses. So it has almost a romantic flair, very handsome and very gentleman-like. And the symbolism behind a rose, it really depends on what color you end up choosing, but majority of them all fall into the category of either friendship, love, and admiration. So definitely a very poised name for a little boy, very handsome and very gentleman-like. And just with that symbolism, I feel like it gives a lot of really great qualities and characteristics that all parents want for their little baby boy. Moving on to a girl's name on the list. This one is so pretty, and that is the name Kiri or Kyrie, depending on how you want to pronounce it, spelled K-I-R-I. This one actually has a couple different meanings. So in Maori, it means tree bark, but in Hindi, it means amaranth flower. So an amaranth flower is actually a wide variety of perennials, and they're mainly grown in like temperate and tropical regions, but the amaranth flower itself symbolizes immortality. So there is so many different meanings behind flowers. I love how everyone kind of symbolizes something different, and these ones are actually really pretty. Amaranth flowers, they're so colorful, so gorgeous, and I've actually heard amaranth actually used, but maybe if you're not wanting to name it amaranth, Kiri is such a great option. It literally means the exact same thing except in Hindi, so it has a little bit of a cultural background as well. It's not too outside of the box, and it has a really pretty ring to it. So moving on to another girl's name on the list, and that is the name Amissi, so spelled A-M-I-S-I. This one is Egyptian, and it literally means flower, but this one was so hard to find any information on. It is ultra rare, like it's a very rare name. It's old ancient Egyptian, and it literally has been only found a few times in Egypt. And if you're looking at on the baby name scale, it's literally at the 0%, like 0% of babies are named this name. It's that rare. So I thought I'd share it with you guys. I don't know where I found it. It's like on the deep web, but I was so drawn to the spelling, the pronunciation of it, and I was so excited because it literally means flower in old ancient Egyptian. So I thought I'd add this one to the list. I was also thinking that this is almost like an exotic variation of the classic name Amy. So I thought that Amissi would be a total great option, maybe if you want to pay tribute to an Amy in your family. I feel like this one would be a great alternative than maybe you wanted something a little bit more modern. And then our next name on the list is also a girl's name, and this one has quite a bit of history to it, but that is the name Nazrin, so spelled N-A-S-R-I-N. E-N. This one's actually a Persian name meaning wild rose, and it's more so a popular girl's name in Iran. So if you guys are from Iran, let me know in the comments below if Nazrin is a popular name where you guys are. So as I said, Nazrin means wild rose, and back in ancient Greek mythology, a wild rose was a very powerful symbolism of love and adoration, but it was also associated with the goddess Aphrodite because she always wore wild rose crown around her head. So it has some Greek mythological, almost whimsical history to the name as well, because it does mean wild rose. So I thought that was a really great addition to the name as well. Maybe if you're looking for a Greek goddess's name, or maybe Aphrodite is a goddess that you are super drawn to. Literally, she wore a wild rose crown, and Nazrin literally means wild rose. So I thought this was a great addition to the list. This one's definitely a little bit different, and that is the name Provence, so spelled P-R-O-V-E-N-C-E. And the reason why I added it to the list is because Provence is actually a stunning southern France region that hosts the most gorgeous lavender fields basically in the world. And Provence is known for these lavender fields. So lavender is a symbolism of devotion and peace, and also happiness. So I thought this was a wonderful version and kind of like a place inspired name, but it has floral inspiration behind it. And I thought it was just so pretty, Provence, for a little girl. I feel like it just sounds very peaceful as well. And then next on the list is the name Freesia, so spelled F-R-E-E-S-I-A. They're very sweet smelling and very airy. And the actual name Freesia came from a German botanist all the way back in 1866. And his name was Friedrich Fries. Oh boy, I think I butchered that. So Friedrich Freesia obviously came from his last name, and the freesia flower symbolizes innocence and thoughtfulness. So this one is big for flower lovers. Everyone loves freesia flowers, and I feel like freesia is definitely a unique name and definitely not used as often as some of the other ones. And then moving on to our next floral inspired name is the name Alyssum, so spelled A-L-Y-S-S-U-M. This one is definitely more so found in the Mediterranean, and Alyssum is sometimes called the carpet of snow because it has like a bunch of small white flowers all carpeted along the ground. And Alyssum is a Greek name which has ties to meaning noble, but the flower itself represents beauty. So I thought this was absolutely perfect and beautiful for your little flower girl. And then next on the list I have is the name Silla, so spelled S-C-I-L-L-A. This one's a blue purpley plant found in the woodlands, meadows, and seashores of Europe and Africa. I was like, oh my gosh, meadows, woodlands, seashores. I was like, wow, so drawn to it. I thought this was so pretty. And they normally bloom in spring and fall. And the symbolism behind a Silla is loyalty and fidelity. But I added it because I really like the name of it, Silla. It's almost basically like taking the name Priscilla, but just cutting off half of the name and literally naming her Silla. And I thought that was really pretty and has a really feminine touch because Priscilla is already a very girly name, and I thought that Silla is kind of a little bit more of a modern version of it. All right, so we are down to our final 3 floral inspired names. So the next one I have for you guys is the name Iola, so spelled I-O-L-A. Yes, it literally means violet, and it's derived from the Greek name Iole, so spelled I-O-L-E. I thought this was a cool twist and take on the name Violet or Viola. Those ones are very, very popular and in the top 1000s there. So maybe if you're wanting something a little bit more different and maybe more modern, Iola would totally be an option for you. I've actually seen this a couple times happen for like the name Olivia. People have been using Livia. So I thought this was kind of going in that same direction. The violet is February's birth flower, and it symbolizes innocence, modesty, and a true everlasting love. And the flower is also believed to keep us grounded spiritually. Next on the list is the name Zenobia, so spelled Z-E-N-O-B-I-A. And this one's actually referred to as honeycups, so the flower. And they are grown in North America, and they normally are blooming in April, May, and June. So this would make such a great spring or summer baby. And Zenobia itself is a Greek originated name meaning a life of Zeus, which Zeus means sky and shine, but this was also a warrior queen's name. Really, really beautiful, has like a goddess-like feel to it, and Zenobia itself sounds like a goddess's name. Definitely Greek names can be a little bit out there, but as you guys know, my son's name is Aries, so it kind of just works. And then now we are down to our very final name on this list, and that is the name Zahra, so spelled Z-A-H-R-A. There's a couple different ways you could spell this name. There's also Z-A-R-A, which is the more common one, but if you spell it Z-A-H-R-A, it is highly, highly loved by Egyptians because the Prophet Muhammad's daughter's name was Fatima Zahra, and the meaning behind the name Zahra means the shining one and also beautiful blossoming flower. So I thought this was a perfect name to end the list off. I think it has such a beautiful meaning. And Zahra, I've always loved this name, and I've loved the spelling Z-A-R-A just because it's simple, and I've never thought of spelling it Z-A-H-R-A, and I just think it is so different, and just the background and history on the name, very cultural. I think it fit this topic so perfectly. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this long, big list of names for you guys. Definitely some really great alternatives. Maybe if you don't want a direct flower name, there was some ones with meanings that mean flowers. I hope you guys are having an amazing Sunday and rest of your weekend. Take care. Bye.